So now I'm going to talk about the principles of V2K, and can we, protect ourselves from being V2K'd? There are no definite, definition from the from official, perspective. But I found a definition from internet. It refers V2K to a silent sound device which can transmit sound to the skull of person or animal. Yes, both person, people, or animal can be, affected by the microwave transmission of sound signals. So I think it should be much more easier for for animals to affect animals, because their brain is more simple than human body. The application, one of the applications is that, in the airport, people use the sound device to get rid of the birds, to avoid the birds that might collide with the aircraft. That's the basic application. Who discovered this phenomenon? The scientist's name is Alan H. Frey. In 1960, about the same time of the development of microwave weapons, biologist Alan Frey, at that time he was 25, was working at the General Electric Center at Cornell University. It was he found the possibility that to transmit sound signals into human skull. So he published some papers right after that. And, the first one maybe in 1962. The title was Microwave Auditory Effect. And the effect later was called the Frey effect. So it's pretty sophisticated. The Frey effect. Using extremely low average power densities of electromagnetic energy, the perception of sounds was induced in normal and deaf humans. So at that time, it is possible for this effect to use to help deaf humans. Of course, it can greatly affect the normal person. So the article published in 1962 is a human auditory system response to modulated electromagnetic energy. So the principle So here is the microwave source. And here is normal sounds, natural sounds, from the surroundings. Sounds of explosion, sounds of gunshot, sounds of people's voices, etc. So this root is the normal sound communication into a human's brain. It's this way, the sound source, and then it enters the external ear, and then into the middle ear, and then inner ear, and transmitted to auditory nerves. And finally, it goes to listening domain in the brain, so people can hear the voice, the natural voice. The idea of V2K is like this. From a microwave source, it is transmitted directly into human's brain. From the brain, the signal goes to the inner ear directly. It does not go through the external and the middle ears. No, that process. It goes directly from here to the listening domain. So in the inner ear, it is transmitted to auditory nerves and was processed by the brain, and the people can feel it or accept it. This is the basic principle. And the picture shows, the two different paths, microwave signal and normal sound signal. That's the basic principle, or the basic difference. This is a flow chart, or I would say this is how a V2K device is composed of. So there is the part, audit input, and then there is voltage standard, and there is a comparator joined here. And there is a FM capable pulse generation. I think this should be the carrier signal. Usually the carrier signal is, higher frequency signals. And then there is a microwave generator, and then the antenna, and then, it goes to the human skull. The distance of the device, according to Dr. Frey, was a few hundred feet. So, of course, it has something to do with your neighbors. So, in gun stalking, It is absolutely neighbors related because it's a kind of community gun stalking, community watching, community surveillance, and community policing. Can V2K prevent it? In the last century, so there is a culture of tinfoil hat. At the beginning, it is usually used for parties. But then, during the past about 60 years, the culture changed. So there is a theory which is called conspiracy theory. In which tinfoil hat, it is said can be used to prevent V2K effect. However, the conspiracy theories now are, very difficult to be accepted by the public because of the severe disinformation from mainstream media, MSM. The conspiracy theory, what foretold by the conspiracy theory is now becoming true step by step. So, can the V2K effect be prevented? I believe so, because I don't believe mainstream propaganda during the past few decades. That's absolutely nonsense. They can't explain, without contradiction. It's kind of disinformation. Let's have a look at the helmet of these two airplane, ground crew. They are soldiers. They don't go to the front line. They don't go to battle. Why they use these kinds of helmets? Of course, communication. That's the main purpose of the helmets. But if we look at them closely, the front part of the helmet and the back part of the helmet is positioned very special, very unnormal. It is possible for these soldiers to prevent V2K from their enemies. They are afraid of to accept false commands. So, I think V2K can be protected. It's mainly, on the back of the skull. So, does tinfoil hat work? It might be, but it's too delicate. We need some kinds of better protections, like a helmet, but we need to design that kind of helmet suitable for sleeping, for lying down on a pillow. And remember, gun stalking is a warfare. Even you have a helmet, the gun stalkers might to miss it. They might to dysfunction it, like to, ruin a respirator, a mask, because they are part of the social murder machine. They want to kill some people on their blacklist. So, I think we can predict that, prevent that, but it's not so easy. The attackers will change policy, and we have to do some changes as well. I found that the commercialized products had appeared. It's about mind control, hypnosis, here. What are those? Hypnosis, mind control, brain wave enhancing. So some of the devices here, it's not